Welcome to Volume 4 of the Royal Road to Card Magic. Hopefully, as I always say, you've followed through the previous 3 volumes. It's very important not to skip forward. Learn whatever you can and take things one step at a time. In this next chapter, you're about to learn the double lift. This can be one of the most overused moves in card magic, but used auspiciously and carefully at the right time, you'll find that you can perform absolute miracles. And in actual fact, in this chapter, you'll find one of the most commercial card tricks ever invented. So let's move on to the double lift. You're about to learn one of the most useful sleights in card magic. The method taught in the Royal Road to Card Magic is actually very, very simple. But I'm going to try and give you a better method. I'll explain why as we move along. First of all, here's what's taught in the book. Begin with a deck of cards. When you're ready, you can shuffle the cards as much as you like, but when you're ready to show the second card from the top, take your first finger against the edge of the deck and just push backwards slightly, okay? Like so. It's a little bit too much, just exaggerated for you, like that. And what that creates is a little wedge at the top of the deck, which will make it easy for my right thumb to feel the second card as I lift it up. So my right thumb is going to come over like this and lift up the top card and then the second card. 1, 2, like that. As it does that, my pinky is then going to slide in just beneath the second card. Now it doesn't go into the deck like this, rather it just hugs the side a little bit so the card can't fall down. So I lift up 1, 2, and then let go. And I've got the tiniest break underneath those 2 cards. I'm going to widen that just a little bit for you to see, like this. I'm now ready to do the double turnover. From here we're going to continue with the Royal Road method. Now remember that I'm discouraging you from using this method, but hopefully you've read it and tried it for yourself, and you'll be familiar with the technique. I'm going to take the card here, like this, turn over onto the top of the deck. Now, again, finger goes in like this, the thumb is on top, I turn over, moving my hand from palm up to palm down in an arc. And as I do that, the card turns face up. I also leave a little bit of space at the front like this. That's about 1/2 inch. Now it's important that the back edge is square and that the side edges are square. The side edges are covered by your fingers and your thumb. Note that during the double lift at all times you keep your thumb to the side, which will make things a little bit easier. Now I take it, it's already down jogged, in other words it's stepped towards me. I take it and I turn it back over to complete. With the double lift, always remember to get the break as you're talking to your audience. Learn to get the break by feel alone. If you put that wedge in just at the top, that very slight wedge, it's very easy for your thumb to become accustomed to just picking up 2 cards by feel. Once you have your break and you make the turnover, instead of carrying the card all the way over to here before allowing the thumb to take control of it, try releasing the card. This is a little more difficult. The card comes to here, and I let it fall all the way. Now, of course, if I'm turning it down, I don't need to hold a break. But when I let it fall and catch it with the thumb, I'm catching it only here. That falling action is very convincing. Again, I have the break with the thumb. I release and retake the break with the finger. The break, of course, should be as small as possible. So I make the turnover like this. Practice catching it with the base of the thumb, releasing, and taking over the break here. Once you've done that, you can allow this end to collapse against the base of the thumb, like so. And the falling action is very convincing, like this. Before you let it fall, make sure that this long edge is all the way over to this long edge. In other words, don't let it fall in the middle, because as it moves across here, the double will separate. So pull it all the way over and let it fall like so. There are several subtle ways of using the double lift to glimpse cards and reverse cards that are presented in the Railroad to Card Magic. The double lift glimpse works like this. Let's imagine that someone selected a card and that it's on top of the deck. I want to show that it's not on top. So I do a double lift. Well, your card's not on top. It's not the ace of spades. And it's not the queen of spades. In fact, it's the ace of hearts. I'm looking at it right now. So to do that, the timing has to be right. It has to seem natural. I begin with a double lift. Now remember, the ace of hearts is on top. So I double lift and I say, well, it's not the ace of spades. And it's not the queen of spades. And I thumb off the top card and I take it like this, so that I'm apparently turning both over. But notice how I don't turn that far enough to be seen. So I say it's not the ace of spades and it's not the queen of spades. And I turn that on top. And I've just glimpsed their card right in front of them. This time we're going to reverse a card from the top using the double lift. So the selection in this case will be the ace of hearts. So we begin by preparing for the double lift. And when we're ready, we flip over the top card. We say your card is not on the top. Now we turn the hand face down to show the bottom card. This shows the queen of spades. And your card is not on the bottom. Now I take the top card, which is now on the bottom of the deck, like this, and turn it over. So I've apparently turned it over once to show it and turned it back over to write it. What I've actually done is reverse the original top card of the deck, the ace of hearts. So, watch. Doing a double lift, the ace of hearts is on top, but I show the ace of spades. Now I revolve my hand face down to show the queen of spades. Underneath, I simply remove that card, like this, turn it over to show it, and replace it to cover the reversed card. From here, the deck can be cut, and the card revealed, reversed, in the center. Okay, I'm going to have you remember a card, and I'm going to have you remember a card, and I'll try and make it as easy as I can. So, let's see. Remember the ace of diamonds. Okay, that's your card. So your card is?
The ace of diamonds.
The ace of diamonds, like that. And the same thing for you, okay? I'll do it really slowly. That's your card, the queen of clubs. And hold your finger like this, okay? Put it on top of the queen. Okay, so this is?
The ace of diamonds.
Okay, that is?
The queen of clubs.
The queen of clubs. Snap my fingers. And now this is the queen of clubs. And that?
It's the ace of diamonds.
Just like that.
Very good.
Wow. The trick called rapid transit is, in actual fact, a classic of card magic, the transposition. And this is a wonderful, wonderful effect. All you have to do is try it to prove how good it is. To begin, you can have anyone shuffle the deck and then begin for a double lift. A little bit of advice. I prefer to make sure I have cards that I want for this trick. It's important that the cards are as different as possible and as easy to remember as possible. So the two I always use are the Queen of Hearts and the Ace of Spades. And the Queen of Hearts and the Ace of Spades are here. Okay? Third and second from the top. And there's any card at all can go on top of those, like this. How do I make sure that's there? An overhand shuffle control. I jog, shuffle off, and cut. So the top three cards remain the same. Now, I prepare for a double lift. As soon as I'm ready to begin, I ask someone to remember a card. And I show them the Ace of Spades. I say, I'm going to place the Ace of Spades here. Like this. So that card is, and as I'm asking them to name that card, I prepare for another double lift. They say the Ace of Spades. Very easy to remember. Say, okay, over here I'm going to place another card. The Queen of Hearts. Another double lift to bring it back face down, and I place this here. Now this is actually the Ace of Spades. And that card is, they'll name the Queen of Hearts, the card they just saw. Now I say, watch, I'm going to take the ace. I'm going to place it here, as far away as I can before I snap my fingers. Now at this point, before I pick this up, I get a little break by pushing like this. So I push the top card off a little bit so my pinky can just hold a little break there. I take this card, without showing it, I place it here. Notice it's not square with the deck yet. Now watch, all I'm going to do is snap my fingers. Now before I snap my fingers, I pull it square and say watch. Now over here they expect to see the ace of spades. I do a double turnover and show the Queen of Hearts. And then I cleanly turn this card over to show the ace of spades. And the cards have transposed. So, one more time. The two cards you wish are here with any odd card on top. You begin with a double lift. You ask someone to remember that card and you place it down. You now do another double lift, preparing for it as they name this card. Turn over to show the ace of spades. This is actually both of the cards you're asking them to remember. Turn the double down. Place this card here. This is the card they believe to be here. The ace is here. I get a break underneath this as I pick this card up. I snap my fingers, and as I snap my fingers, I just pull that square. I flip this over to show the card they expected to be here, and the card they expected here, of course, is in their hands. And that's called rapid transit. Before we complete, let me remind you of something that I did in performance. I often do this with one person. When I do it with one person, they have to remember both the cards, so it's even more important that you have two cards that are easy to remember. And I ask them to hold the cards like this, with their palm up, like this. So they end up holding one card in each hand. Now in this case, you see, this is a card that they're supposed to have. It's in the wrong hand. They expect it to be here. And this is the odd card that must be returned to the deck. So what I do is I ask them to raise one of the cards slightly. If they raise this card, this is the card that I want to take back onto the deck, I say, okay, I'll take that card. If they raise this card, you say, okay, I won't even touch that card. Give me the other one. So it's a force. They don't know what I'm going to take until after they've raised their hand. It's important they don't do this or raise too far. Just tell them to raise it very slightly and take whichever card you need. That's called the magician's force, and there'll be more on that later on the tape. You know, I've noticed that there's a card in every deck that's stronger in personality than all the other cards. You don't believe a word of that, do you?
No.
In actual fact, it's true. This particular deck, I've noticed there's one card, it's the Eight of Clubs. It's stronger than all the other cards. And I know this because whenever I perform a trick, it usually tries to be selected or it pops up. So if I turn over the top card of the deck, you see the Eight of Clubs. There it is. I'll do it again. I'll take it and put it into the very middle of the deck like that. It goes all the way in. Slowly. But just wait. It comes back up to the top. Now, this means it's a little bit more ambitious than all the other cards. Tries to rise to the top. Let's see. If I shuffle the cards, just lose it in the deck for a second. Like this. Give it a shuffle. All right. Now I feel good. I feel chances are good that the 8 is back on top of the deck.
Spooky.
Spooky, yeah. Look, I'll do it again. I'll put the 8 right into the middle like this. I'm going to push it in. Watch. Just wait. And it jumps back to the top. Now I can just keep shuffling these cards. Doesn't matter what I do. The 8 will try and appear. So let's see. If I shuffle again, like this, and just one more time. That's pretty well shuffled, right? Try and fool it. I'll try and fool it. Yeah.
You fold it.
Not really, because I was going to use the bottom card of the deck, and that's where it is. There. Look, we'll do it in slow motion this time. I'm going to take the 8, put it right in the middle of the deck, like that, okay? Now watch, just let me pull it out a little bit, okay? In fact, I'll cut it just a little bit deeper down. And there it is. on top of the deck. Let's try again. Let's really shuffle the card into the deck. So, yeah, appears to be lost. Okay. And let's see. Could you mix up some of the cards for me if I give you some of the cards? Like that? Okay. Shuffle those cards. Make sure they're happy they're mixed, and do the same, Aaron.
Start where I want to.
Yep. And then turn over the top card. Turn over the top card. Is that it? No. How about you? You know what the problem is, don't you? It's just more ambitious than all the rest. Like that.
How do you do that?
This next trick is one of the genuine classics of card magic and is one of the finest effects you can perform with an ordinary deck of cards. It's called the Ambitious card, and the handling given in the Royal Road is a fine one and is well within your ability by now. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use a blue-backed 8 of clubs rather than the ace of spades. You'll understand why in a moment. I'm also going to take out the 9 of clubs. To begin, the 8 of clubs goes on top like this and is followed by the 9. So you see you have a 9 and an 8. Now I begin by shuffling the deck while I tell the audience about one card that appears to be more prominent than the others in this deck. As I'm talking, I perform a double lift, get ready. I pull up 2 cards and get a break underneath. So, I perform the double lift. This shows the 8 of clubs. I say, this is the very card. I turn it over, and I begin to insert it into the deck. I take the top card, which is really the 9. I push it into the middle like this. Notice that my fingers are over the index here, like so. And as I insert it into the deck, I keep my fingers here, so that I can raise up the hand to show the 8 being pushed into the deck. In actual fact, of course, it's really the 9. This is a very good show. So I show an 8. I take this card and I push it in, and I'm apparently showing the 8 again before I square it with the deck. Now if I snap my fingers and slowly turn over this card, they see the 8 has returned to the top. Now I continue. I turn the 8 back over and I shuffle. I run one card, I in-jog, and I shuffle off. And then push up here to form a break and shuffle off to the break, like so. Again, I lift up and prepare for a double lift. I turn this top card over again and show the 8 of clubs has returned. Again, I turn the double down, take the top card, and push it into the deck. Now this time I can't show the card because it's just a random card. But I push it in slowly, I square up, I snap my fingers, and slowly show the top card. It's once again the 8 of clubs. Now I shuffle again. This time, I'm going to shuffle the card to the bottom. What I like to do, however, is do a top and bottom card control. So in other words, rather than just shuffle it to the bottom, like so, I start at the top, and I take top and bottom card together and shuffle off. And now I say, it doesn't matter how much I mix the cards, and I flash the bottom card. Now I control the card to the top by pulling back, shuffling over, and bringing the 8 back to the top. This is an overhand shuffle control, which you learned in the first chapter. I bring it back to the bottom fairly this time, like so. So now the 8 is genuinely on the bottom. So in the middle of the shuffle, I can fairly show the bottom card and then continue. And see, that should do it. I think I've managed to fool the 8 of clubs. Now when I turn over the card, of course it isn't the 8, and it looks like I've succeeded. But I say, no, it didn't work, because now it's on top of the bottom. For the next phase, again I prepare for a double lift. I lift up 2 cards. But I won't be performing a double lift and turnover. Instead, I'm going to push forward on those 2 cards like this, the 2 above the break, which steps them forward and keeps them square. And now I take the 2 cards this way, being careful not to spread them. I take the 2 cards, riffle down, and insert them into the deck like that. Riffling down with the thumb like this. Now, the 2 cards are together, but they appear to be one. I take the deck, from above with the thumb, with the fingers underneath. I turn it face down this way, not towards me, but side over side, like this. The double card stays tight together in the middle, and I pull it out slightly. As I pull it out like this, I only pull the top card and push back on the 8, like so. As I push back with the 8, I'm going to pull too far and push further down so that it pokes out of the back like this. Now that's the whole packet that's been pushed backwards. I take some of those cards. I don't take the whole packet. I just take some of those cards and apparently cut the card deeper, like this, which brings the 8 secretly to the top. I push this card in and square up. Now the position now is, of course, that the 8 is returned to the top. Don't show it too soon. Snap your fingers and slowly show that it once again is returned to the top. Now that's a very fair display. Remember, they see the card go into the middle. It's clearly there. You cut it a little bit deeper, and then you very fairly push it in. At this point, you're way ahead of the audience, and you lead into the last phase. For the last phase, you shuffle, in jog, shuffle off, throw on top. This brings the card back to the top. At this point, cut off the lower half, like so, and hand it to someone and ask them to shuffle. As they do that, palm off the top card and hand this half to someone else and ask them to shuffle. Once they're finished shuffling, ask them to turn over the top card of each pile. As they do this, they find the 8 is not on top of either pile. Of course, you have it palmed in your hand. At this point, you say, well, that's why I call it ambitious. It's because the card always wants to be with me. And I reach into my pocket with this card palmed. I go straight into my pocket. I let the card fall down a little bit, and I extract it like this to show that the ambitious card is now here. If you'd like to make this trick a little bit stronger, when you begin, have the card signed by anybody in the audience. That way they'll know there are no duplicate 8s. And trust me, this is one of the finest effects you could possibly learn. Okay, let's have a card selected. Take this out. Okay, that's great. Okay, very good. And you're getting to be a pro. Very good. I'm impressed. Put it back. Okay. Now, let's see. Do you ever read Scientific Monthly?
Nope.
Then you won't know whether this is true or not, which is good. Now, somewhere in here, in this deck, is your card. Now, a lot of the time, I'll be honest, I actually just depend on luck to see how my chances fly. For instance, if I was to take a card out of the middle of the deck like this, if that was your card, that would just be lucky. Is that your card?
No.
No, that would just be luck. In fact, sometimes it might be on the bottom. Is it? No?
No.
Is that your card?
No.
No. So my luck isn't in. So I just read this, it's like an article about quantum mechanics and how certain things can exist in different universes. Do you understand anything about that?
Somewhat.
More than me, then. More than me. What I thought would be interesting is if you could take something out of this universe for just a second, and not for very much time at all. Let's imagine that we were to take your card out of this universe and then put it back again. Would that be impressive? No, not really. Clearly. So how do we prove that? Well, let's try this. Let's take it out of the universe for just a second. Tell you what, watch. I'll turn the deck over. And we'll take it back. Just a second. And then we'll put it back again. Okay. Now you notice in the middle there I turned the deck over. Mm-hmm. But I turned it over while the card was outside of this universe. You know what that means?
Nope.
No. That means when it came back, it should still be face up in the middle of the deck. Like that. One of the simplest tricks in the double lift section, one of the most difficult to say, is truth and consequences. And this is really a simple presentation for one of the double lift reverses. Let's imagine a card has been selected from a shuffled deck. It'll be our blue-backed ace of spades. And that'll be controlled to the top using the overhand shuffle control. So we control that to the top, get a break and shuffle off to the break. So the card is here. Now at this point, I'm going to remove any card from the deck. So I take a card out like this. I simply spread through. When I find a card, I move the whole spread forward, take control of the card with my thumb, and come back. And as I square up, I get a break underneath the top card. So I'm ready to go. I take this card out and say, was that your card? Of course, it's not their card. So I pick up the whole deck and turn it over and say, was that your card? No. And I place this on top. Now what I've really done, of course, is take that card with the top card. So at this point, I have a break. I take this card out. Notice how I take it out the way I've shown you before. Off to the side, hinging against this finger. I turn it over. That's not the card. And now I lift it from above with the thumb at the inner end and the finger at the outer end, lifting up both cards above the break and holding them square by applying a little pressure. Don't do this. Okay? Just a little tiny amount of pressure just to keep those cards together. Just a little amount. I flip over this. Remember, their card is actually here. I drop this on top and I cut the deck. And the presentation is, you notice how I turn the deck over. I'll turn the deck over again. Now, how many cards did I just turn over? And of course, they'll say 52. That's the number of cards in the deck. In actual fact, you say, I only turned over 51. One of the cards in the middle remained face up. And if I spread like this, you'll see your card reversed in the center. It's a simple presentation for a double lift reverse. Jenny, take a card.
All right.
Okay. Show it to everyone. Don't let me see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's very good. And just place it back in the middle somewhere. Okay. Good. Okay. I'll shuffle the cards a little bit like this. I actually have a special card in the deck. Okay. I carry the card with me and I put it in the deck because I know it's going to tell me something about your card. Let's see. There it is, right there. Okay. Like that. Now that's the Joker. Okay, but I said there was something special about the Joker. And the Joker actually tells me what your card was. Okay? If you look at the back, you'll see the name of your card is clearly written. Did you read Japanese?
Well, I do now. I know what that says.
You do? That says the 5 of clubs. Is that the card you chose?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
clearly you're not amazed. Okay. Do you want to know how he knows it was the 5 of clubs? You want to know?
How you knew?
Well, how the card knew. Well, it was easy because the 5 of clubs is the only one standing on its head. Like that. The Insidious Dr. Fool You 2 is nothing more than another presentation for the double lift reverse, but the presentation is actually very strong. I've used a Joker, and I've made this up as a special card. I can carry this in my wallet if I like, or somewhere special. You can add it to the deck whenever you want to perform it. What's special is that on the back, I've written some Japanese characters. Now you can write Chinese if you like as well, but the idea is to try and find a language that people probably won't know. That's the idea of the presentation. Now in this case, this is Japanese, and this was written by Jeff Melke, who's been helping me out on the set. And it actually says my name and hello. So nothing special. So I've had him write some genuine characters. In the book it says, quite correctly, do not try and make these characters up yourself. Okay? Make sure you copy them from an actual Japanese text or from a Chinese book somewhere. Anything you like, even from a Chinese menu. Once you have this, you add it to the deck, reversed on the bottom. And you're ready to begin. You can now shuffle the deck, so long as you keep that card on the bottom like so. When you're doing this, it's important not to flash that card as you make the shuffle. So this remains on the bottom. I now have a card selected. In the book, it recommends that you spread the cards on the table, being sure to keep the bottom cards unexposed. Otherwise, you may flash that Joker. That's a little bit chancy, so most of the time, I'll simply have a card selected like this, being sure not to spread too far. So once a card has been selected, let's say it's the 4 of spades, I now begin shuffling the cards and ask someone to return the card anywhere they like. When they return the card, I'm now going to throw all of these cards onto their selection, like this. When I've done that, this card will end up directly above their selection. From this point, the trick is complete. If you like, you can do an undercut shuffle, shuffling a block. Take a big block in the middle so you don't disturb the two cards, and shuffle off. Now I snap my fingers and say I have a very special card in the deck, and as I spread, I expose the reversed joker. I now cut that to the top. And I say the special thing about this joker is it has something written on the back. And I turn it over to expose the Japanese writing. As I do that, I do this to point at it. And this is the moment when I glimpse the card using the top card glimpse taught in the glimpse section. So from here, I glimpse just as I turn over to show the writing. And I see the 4 of spades quite clearly. Like that. So can you read this, I ask? Now most of the time they're going to say no. If they say they can, say, well, okay then, and the trick is over. But most of the time they'll say no. You say, well, actually that says that you will choose the 4 of spades. You just named their card, and that's a big surprise. At this point, you're going to throw this back on top of the deck. And just before you do that, get a break underneath the top card. As before, push it off, get a break underneath. Now say, do you know, and I'm going to pick up both of the cards above the break, do you know how I knew what your card would be? And I put this here. Again, I've reversed that card. I cut it into the middle, and I tabled the deck. And the big surprise so far has been that I could name their card by reading the back of my Japanese card. Now they're going to say, well, I don't know how. You snap your fingers and you say, because your card is standing on its head. You spread, and you show the card like this. And that's it. The insidious Dr. Fool You Too. Now we come to one of the most important lessons in the Royal Road to Card Magic. The following sleight is a real challenge to card magicians. Many try and perform it invisibly. The real secret is to perform it deceptively. What you're about to learn is a move that can be performed at the right moment, not while they're looking at the deck. Later on, if you choose to follow card magic further, you will find ways of performing this while people are looking at the deck. But my advice to you is to start the right way. Make sure you perform it at the right moment, which means when people are not concentrating on the deck. You'll see what I mean. It's a difficult move, but give it a lot of time and practice as much as you can. It's called the pass. I'm going to teach you a simple way to transpose 2 packets at the correct moment. So watch. Here we're going to use the blue-backed ace of spades. This will be our selection. This would be in the middle of the pack, like this. And I need to bring it to the top. Here we won't shuffle, but simply transpose the top packet with the bottom packet, like so. And again, like so. The truly important thing is to have as little noise as possible, but perform it as quickly as you can. To perform this, you have a break above the card you wish to bring to the top. Now you notice the break is quite small. I'm going to bring my right hand over the deck. All 4 fingers are going to cover the front of the deck like this. With the break here like this, you notice the front of the deck is closed, as is this side here. The back and the right side are open. So I come across the front, my thumb goes at the back. Notice my thumb is at the left rear corner, and it's gripping the lower packet. It doesn't grip the upper packet at all, but the lower packet here. Okay? It has no control at all over this packet. The same is true of these fingers. The first finger is going to grip the lower packet. Now obviously you are making contact with this packet, but this finger and thumb are really trying to grip the bottom packet like this. Now remember, I have a very small break at the moment. In order to make the pass, I have to enter that finger into the break like so. I come over, and at this moment, the finger is going to slide straight into the break like that. In actual fact, I'm going to bring my fingers around as I lift the packet up to fingertips. I lift it up, and the break is widened, like so. Now from here, the packet is now raised just a little bit. The ring finger is going to pinch down on the top packet, like so. As it does that, it's going to now move to this side. So from here, this is all the way into that packet. This will now move like this and try and carry the packet around. To help that, I'm going to raise the right hand slightly. My right ring finger is going to lift up that packet by pulling up like this. So first of all, I pull to the side like this. If I keep pulling, you'll see it carries around the packet like that to the bottom. Now watch what happens if I do this at the same time. I carry it around, and now I come up, and the packets hinge on each other. At this point, I close my fingers of the left hand towards the palm, and I bring everything together as closely as I can. The idea is to keep the packets as tight together as you can without making a sound, like that. So I come over like this. And again, my finger goes in. My thumb is against the left side of the deck. I pull that packet over. I hinge up. I let it fall into the palm. And I bring everything together as soundlessly as I can. That is the basic pass. Now we've learned how to transpose the packets. Practice until you can make it as quiet as you can. Speed is not essential. Silence and naturalness is. So try and be as relaxed as you can when you make the pass, like so. I actually like to practice this in movie theaters when I go and see a movie or in front of the television. Now that you have this down, we have to discuss the moment to perform the pass. Some people like to have the card returned, put this on top, and immediately perform the pass. If your presentation is correct, this will work. But again, attention should be off the deck when you make the move. So there are covers that you can use to help conceal the pass. One such cover is the riffle action. Here the card is in the middle, I get a break, and I get ready for the pass. As soon as I'm ready for the pass, I riffle the deck. And I'm holding everything tight together there, especially that front end. I riffle, and then I look up and make the pass. And then I come down and riffle again, like so. So one more time. I'm ready for the pass. I prepare, I riffle, look up, make the pass, and riffle again. Looking up will almost always bring their attention to you. John Ramsay, one of Scotland's most famous magicians and one of my favorite magicians personally, said that if you want someone to look at you, look at them yourself. And if you want them to look at something, look at that yourself. So, if I'm looking at the deck at the moment of the pass, the chances are the audience will be looking at the deck. If I look during the riffle and then look up, they're going to look at me while I make the pass. I can then look back down and riffle the cards again, and all the work has been done. That's the riffle cover for the pass. Another excellent cover for the pass is called the spread cover. Don't confuse this with a move called the spread pass by Paul Lepal. It's in a book called The Card Magic of Lepal. This cover basically gives you a reason for approaching the deck with the right hand. Watch. The card is in the middle, you have a break above it. You come over and you make the pass, and at the very second that you make the pass, you spread the cards out between your hands. Again, I make the pass, and at that very second, I spread the cards between my hand. So to the onlooker, I simply come over and spread the cards. And that's the moment that I look at the deck. I come over, spread the cards after the pass. Again. I make the pass, and I spread between the hands. The spread is very simple. As soon as the pass is made, your hands are here. You bring the packets together, and the thumb pushes off to the right as your hand turns around to receive the cards. Like that. That's a spread cover for the pass. Royal Road to Card Magic has given you the basic information in the pass, how to transpose the packets. Not only that, we've also included one of the finest uses of the pass in this series, Roy Walton's Pass at Red. Now, in actual fact, you can get away with Roy Walton's trick by simply cutting the deck while nobody's attention is here. But the pass, of course, is a much more expedient way of doing this. Now, if you use that trick, you will build up some confidence with this move. To actually improve the move, try this. Instead of making the packets hinge on each other like this and change angles, try and keep the lower packet as flat as possible, so you only hinge it slightly as you make the pass. Make the top packet perform all the movement, coming over, around, and underneath. So in other words, you have to pull sharply with this hand. The left hand will effectively do most of the work. All the right hand will do is support the lower packet in place until it becomes the upper packet. Another important point is to try and keep your hands as relaxed as possible during the pass. Don't tense up. Notice how the bottom packet stays more level. To help you relax, here's a technique. Take the cards here and just squeeze them a little bit. By squeezing them, you're applying tension with your hand, but I maintain the break at all times. And as I squeeze, I go into the break ready for the pass. Like so. As soon as I relax, my hands naturally relax after this tension, and I make the pass. This is just an exercise. Squeeze, make the pass. Squeeze, make the pass. Please note as well that the pass is not really a table move. It's not a move that you can do because your hand is restricted. Normally, if I was standing, my hand would stand here, and the pass would come down like this, and I would have a little more room to work. When my hand is against the table, it's a little more difficult. It is an excellent move. Please keep practicing it. It will be rewarding. Let's see. I'll show you a trick with the 2 red aces. Okay. Use these for a special reason. We're going to use these as guardians for some cards I'm going to take out. These cards, I don't want you to see these. This will be my special arrangement. Okay. You can't see these, can you? No? Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to take these out. And I will show you these at the end. But for the meantime, I want to keep them secret. You'll understand why. Okay. To get these ones as well, not that one. This one. And these ones. Okay. So they go there. We also need a couple of these. Okay. All right. So we take 3 of these. Put them there. Now, let's mix these up. You don't know anything about these at all, but this is my special arrangement. And just so you know where it is, I'm going to put it between the 2 aces, like that. And to make sure I can't do anything with these cards, I'll bury them in the middle of the deck, like this. So you can see special arrangement trapped between the aces. Okay. And Aaron, I want you to take any 3 cards from between the arrangement. It's important that you don't look at them just yet. Just take them out one at a time.
Okay.
Okay? From anywhere. Any 3. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. Do me a favor, just deal those in a row on the table. Okay? That's good. Perfect. Now remember I said that I would show you my special arrangement of cards. Okay? So watch. I'm going to take them out like this. Very carefully, I don't do anything. Okay? Place them here. All the cards I took out, every single one, was black. Look at this. Except for 3. Which happened to be red. Like that. You're very good. Just like rearranged. This next effect is called Pass at Red and is not in the original book, Royal Road to Card Magic. In actual fact, it was published in Magic Magazine, a magazine specifically for magicians that you'll find at your local magic shop, alongside another excellent magazine called Genie Magazine. This was published in there by a friend of mine called Roy Walton. In fact, Roy Walton has helped me since I began in card magic. He was the first person to actually sell me the Royal Road to card magic. This particular effect is, in my personal opinion, one of the finest uses of the pass ever invented, and is an incredibly baffling effect. The reason this is so good is because it creates the perfect moment for the pass by nature of its own routine. You'll see as I perform it. To begin, remove 2 red aces from the deck. If you have 2 jokers that are the same, use those. But I usually just use 2 red aces. And place these like this on the table. Now, I'm going to begin removing cards. I say to the audience that I do not want them to see the cards, so I'm going to take them out so only I can see them, like this. And I keep removing cards. What I'm actually doing is taking out all of the red cards, every single one, with the exception of any 3 that I leave behind in the deck, and you'll understand why in a moment. So as I run through and I find a card, I move it up like this, okay? And again. Now I'm going to leave that card behind. Just leave it behind. And this one too, and move that one up. And I'll leave that one too. So I now have 3 cards left behind. I continue removing red cards, taking care that nobody sees the faces of these cards. If they see the color of these cards, the trick is ruined. So I'm secretly removing all the red cards. Now they see me doing this. I tell them that I will show them these cards at the end, and I refer to them as my special arrangement. So I take the cards out, I put my hand here, and I swivel them off against this finger, and I place them on the table, like that. Now I seem to remember something, and I run through and remove 3 more cards. These 3 cards are in actual fact the 3 red cards that I left behind a moment ago. Like this. I'll explain why I do this in a moment. I insert these into 3 different places of the spread, like that, and square up. And now I shuffle, making sure nobody sees any of the cards. I now have this picture here. I have a packet of cards between the 2 red aces. Remember that picture. Your audience will. Here I have all the black cards. I tell them that I'm going to place my special arrangement between the 2 aces so that they're trapped. And to make sure I can't do anything to the arrangement, I'll place everything in the middle of the deck, and I lift up half of the remaining cards and place these in the middle like that. Now here's the situation. In the middle of the deck, you have all of the red cards between the 2 aces. The outside cards are in actual fact the black cards. I'm now going to ask somebody to remove any 3 cards from between the aces at any point they like, but they mustn't look at the cards. I also encourage them to take the cards into their own hands, okay? So they remove any 3 cards. Let's say they take this one, and this one. And they remove those, and they're holding on to them. As I close up, I get a break anywhere in the middle of the deck, anywhere around about the middle. Doesn't matter where, so long as you're reasonably close to the middle of the deck, like so. Now, you're going to make a pass. You're going to make a pass at the correct moment, because now all the attention is on the cards they just selected. I ask them to deal these cards in a row, which they'll do, to create a row of 3 cards, like so. As they do this, I make the pass. All attention is on these cards. So as the pass is made, quietly, nobody suspects a thing. This is what's just happened. Remember, a moment ago, all the red cards were between the 2 red aces. Now, all the black cards are between the 2 red aces. And the reason for this is if I turn the pack over and show you, you notice the red cards are between the aces, like this. If I make the pass and cut the deck around about the middle like that, that moves all of the red cards. All of the black cards are now in between the aces, like so. So one more time, as they deal, I make the pass, which moves all of the black cards between the aces. Now, I say, I'll tell you what. I'll show you all of the cards that I took out a moment ago, and I take an ace and place it here. The pile goes here like this, and this ace goes here. I'm taking great care to be as fair as I can, and these are placed aside. I pick these up. Remember the picture we created before. I've just recreated it. I pick up this pile and I deal the cards face up to show all black cards. And as I continue dealing, it'll begin to dawn on the audience what's about to happen. I say all of these cards were black, every single one, except for 3 cards, which were red, like so. And that is Roy Walton's pass at red. And I'd like to thank Roy personally for allowing us to include this on these videos. All right, let's check the hat out here. We're going to use this for the next trick. Make sure there's nothing special inside here. See
Nope,
anything?
nothing.
Maybe a computerized device or something very, very small.
No, you can't see.
Well, yeah, that's why it would be small. What about a flea? Do you see any fleas in there? You were wearing this a moment ago, so, you know. Okay, nothing in there. Nothing in there. Just a hat.
Nothing.
Just a hat, not
Yeah.
a special hat at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a hat and Genevieve.
Yes.
Why don't you pick a card? Okay. Take any card that you like. Okay. You all right? Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Everything wearing off now? Okay. Okay. Shouldn't drink in the morning, I told you. Okay. Look at it. Show it to everyone else. Okay. Make sure you look at it yourself. That's important. Okay. I usually don't have to tell people that. I'm sorry. So now if I go through like this, just put the card on there. Okay. And we'll shuffle it in. So everybody knows what the card is. Okay. And I'm shuffling it into the pack so that it's pretty fair. Now. Okay. So now the cards are mixed up. I'm going to take them and drop them into the hat. Okay. Like that. Okay. So now they're really mixed up. Like this. Okay. Now, let's see. Where would your card be? Now remember, there's nothing inside this hat at all. Okay? Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, all I have to do is give him a little jump. What was the name of the card you chose?
The 7 of spades.
What was
All
it?
right.
The 7 of spades.
Very nice.
Like that. The kangaroo card is a very simple but powerful revelation. To do this, have any card selected and control it to the top of the deck. Let's imagine it's the 4 of hearts. Now, to do this, you also require a felt type of hat. This is the type of hat I use. You see it has a division down the middle, which is important to the trick. It's also of the type that can be crushed. So it's reasonably flexible. I can carry it in a bag if I like to. Also, because it's not too stiff, the trick is going to work right here. You'll see why in a second. Now, the card is secretly on top of the deck. I'm going to take the cards and dribble them into the hat. Now, the very last card I dribble is going to be the 4. And to dribble them, I simply release them off of my fingers and thumb like this, by steadily releasing pressure with the thumb and the fingers, doing that, just slowly, like this. And I'm going to try and hold back that last card at the end, which you'll find is actually quite easy to do, like this. And I'm going to tilt the hat very slightly towards me as I do this. And you'll see that the cards will fall towards this side. So as I take the cards, I dribble them in, and they all fall into that side. The last one to fall is this one, which I snap off like this, and it falls on the other side of the division. So hopefully you can see that the rest of the deck is sitting here. The single card is here, like that. Okay? Now, that single card is against this lower edge of the hat. And to produce the card, all I have to do is take the hat, hold it firmly, and snap upwards against that rim, which will hit the card and cause it to spin out. So I come up and snap like this. And the card will spin out, the 4 of hearts. Now, depending how much room you have, you can actually make it go quite a distance, like that. Genevieve,
Yes.
take a card.
Okay.
Show it to everybody.
All right.
Okay. That's good. And put it back. Okay. I'm going to memorize the deck. Ready?
Yes.
Did it? What was your card?
5 of diamonds.
Made you think for a second. 5 of diamonds is the 8th card down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Wow. 8 of clubs. This always happens with 8. This always happens with 8 of clubs. I'm sorry. I should have taken that out of the deck to begin with. 5 of diamonds. Let me just put it in the 8th position. That'll work. Okay. All right. We'll just cut that and move into it. So it was the 5 of diamonds.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Maybe it's ended.
What's your card?
I'm sorry, the 5 of diamonds.
All works out in the end, I guess. There you go.
Look, I'm getting the hang of this.
You're getting the hang of this. Righting a wrong is an excellent trick that has a sucker climax. In other words, you apparently get things wrong, but everything turns out all right in the end. Unfortunately, the construction given in the Royal Road to Card Magic is actually quite poor. Let me explain why. This is a rarity in the book. Everything else is laid out very well. But this particular trick recommends that you make a pass and then a shuffle, which I feel is a very poor use of the pass. Let me explain why. The deck is shuffled and any card is selected. In this case, it'll be our blue-backed Ace of Spades for clarity. So let's imagine that this is placed into the center of the deck. You put these on top. You successfully make a pass and now shuffle. Well, the purpose of the pass is to transpose that card to the top invisibly. If we shuffle the cards, why don't we simply bring it to the top using the shuffle? There's no answer to that. So let's just use the shuffle. So instead, shuffle off some cards and have them replace the card. Now run 7 cards on top of that card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In-jog a card and shuffle off. I have my in-jog here. I undercut there and cut to the top. And now the 8th card down is their card. Ask someone to name their card, whoever selected the card. They'll say the Ace of Spades. Immediately say number 8. I get the feeling number 8. Your card is the 8th card down, I guarantee it. Of course, their card is now the 8th card down, but watch what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be the 8th card. And as I say that, I lift up 2 cards preparing for a double lift, like so. I double lift and turn over to show the wrong card. That's not the Ace of Spades. So of course they'll say you're wrong. So you know, this always happens with a 9 of Spades. I don't know why that is. That's just a comment. Whatever card you turn over, say it always happens with this card. I'll tell you what, I'll take it out of the deck and you place their card in front of them. This, of course, is their selection. The 9 of Spades is still here. Now again, the book suggests that you drop those onto the bottom and then shuffle, adding another 7 cards to the top. Why bother? Pick up the 7 cards you've already dealt and put them on top. Now shuffle to maintain the top stock. You don't have to run any cards anymore. Just shuffle as much as you like and bring them back to the top. And deal again. See, I'm sure it's 8. This time I'm sure it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. The 9 of Spades. But I don't understand, you say, with your best acting. I'm sure I placed it over here. What was your card? As they name it, turn it over to show everything turned out okay in the end. Okay, let me show you something unusual. You've probably never seen anything like this before in your life.
Probably not.
Okay. Aaron, take any card that you like. Okay.
Do you want me to look at it?
It would help. Okay. Look at it. You can show it to other people if you like to. Just make sure I don't see it. Okay. And put it back here like this. Okay. Your card wasn't the Joker, was it?
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put the deck here like this. Okay. I won't change the position of any of the cards. And I'm going to use a handkerchief, which thankfully I haven't used yet. Okay. Now let's see. All I'm going to do is take this and drape it over the deck like that. And the reason I do this is that sometimes I blindfold myself, but I don't particularly trust any of you, so I think I'll just blindfold the pack instead. Okay, so if you lay the blindfold over like this, okay, this way, and then just blindfold it like this. Now the deck is becoming unable to see, which if you think about it is its usual condition. Okay, and again like that. In actual fact, we'll do it there like that as well. Okay, let's pull this out a little bit. All you have to do now is name your card. The deck can't see anything, so just name your card.
Queen of Diamonds.
Queen of Diamonds. Not bad, huh?
Nope.
Good. To perform the blindfold pack, you need an ordinary pocket opaque handkerchief. You need some double stick tape. This is from Scotch. Deck of cards. Now any card can be selected. We're going to use our blue-backed ace of spades. But before you begin the trick, you need to prepare the handkerchief like so. Take a piece of the tape, it's more than enough, and stick it to the very center of the handkerchief, right here. Okay. Now, you can fold the handkerchief over onto the sticky tape. So long as you don't press too hard, it won't stick. Now, take the deck, have a card removed, and control that card to the top by any means that you like. It'll be the ace of spades. Place the deck on the table like this, so the long edge is towards you, not this way. Remove the handkerchief and open it up, like so. And you're going to turn it over onto the deck so that the sticky tape will affix to the back of this card. So turn over like this. I lay this over. And if the center lands on top of the card, I know it'll stick, like so. To make it stick, I show the shape of the deck through the handkerchief like this, but I'm really pressing that tape firmly down. Now, to make the fold, bring this corner towards this corner. It's going to stop about here so that the fold does not extend above the deck. You want to stop just short of the deck here. That's the long edge towards me. So I go like this. That's the first part. For the second part, I have to lift up that card with the handkerchief. So to make sure, I lift up with my thumb, like so, and lift up everything, and then throw down like this, taking care that this is not exposed to the front where the audience can see it. I can see it quite clearly. Now, I lay everything out, like so. This is harder to do slowly. And I fold it again. This time when I fold it, this corner can be pulled free, like so. If you try this once with a handkerchief in front of you, it's very easy. Now what I have are two corners. One facing away from me, one pointing towards me. To make the revelation, all I have to do is pull sharply like this. And when I do, the handkerchief will unroll, and because we've reversed the card from underneath the handkerchief to on top, it'll appear on top, and thanks to the tape, it'll appear face up, like so. Pull sharply. And their card appears like this. Don't do that. Julie, I'm going to have you pick a card. Any card you like. Not that one. Go on if you want to. Okay. Look at the card. Show it to everyone else. I won't look. Okay. You done that? And place the card here. Okay. I'm going to try and find your card, but I'm going to do it in an interesting way. For instance, the top card of the deck is the 9 of diamonds. That's not your card.
No.
How about the King of Spades? Is that your card?
No.
Let's see. Help me out here. Anywhere? Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Okay. There's a special way of finding your card. All you have to do is name the card. Now let me do it for you. I got it. 9 of clubs. Neofclubs. And that finds your card. The 9 of clubs. Like that.
That wasn't
My
there.
day card.
This isn't it?
No.
Okay. What was it?
7 of hearts.
7 of hearts. I said the wrong card. Well, it still works. If you say the 7 of hearts, Sevenofhearts. You find 7 of hearts. Like
You can
that.
do magic and spell.
I can do magic and spell. Well, the next effect is called Double Speller, and I've changed the handling slightly from that recommended in Royal Road. You'll see why. Have any card selected from a shuffled deck, lift off half the cards and have them replace their card on the lower half, like so. Replace the upper half, get ready for the pass, and make it quietly at the right moment. The card is now secretly on top. In the book, it recommends that you use a version of the double lift reverse that requires you to shuffle 1 extra card on top. I think we can do that without shuffling 1 extra card on top. Also, if we shuffle, we didn't do the pass in the first place. So this is what we do. Prepare for a double lift. Remember, their card is on top. Double lift to show their card is not on top. So this is an odd card. And now turn the deck over like so. Reach under and pull out the lowermost card, like this. And as you show them, I'm going to make this gesture, like that. In other words, from here, you do this. This turns their card directly towards me. So I can see their card, but no one else can. I'm looking directly at the ace of spades. So from here, I do this. Just turn your hands toward each other, like that. Now replace this card over the reverse card, and remember the card that they chose. Turn the deck over and say, well, maybe it's a little bit closer, because I thought it would be on top. Pretend like you thought it should be on top. As you spread through, you're going to spell their card, minus 1 letter. A, C, E, this is in your mind only, don't say this out loud. O, F, S, P, A, D, E, that would be S, but we want 1 letter less, so we simply cut these to the bottom. See, I didn't see it here either, I thought it might be near the bottom. Let's see, did you see your card? No, maybe it's a little closer, and again start going through. This time, spell this card here, it's the 8 of hearts. E-I-G-H-T-O-F-H-E-A-R-T-S. Have you seen it yet? They'll say no. Say, I'm sure it was there. Maybe if I just name your card and then spell to it. Have you ever done that before? They'll say no. Say, look, this is what happens. I snap my fingers and I say 8 of hearts. Here I'm naming the wrong card to them, but I'm actually naming the card I just set to spell. And I spell straight down like this. E-I-G-H-T-O-F-H-E-A-R-T-S. The 8 of hearts. That's impressive, but of course, it's not their card. And you say, maybe it's because I did this. I'll tell you what, don't tell me what your card is. Just take the cards and spell. They repeat what you did, but they spell their card, the ace of spades. A-C-E-O-F-S-P-A-D-E-S. And they find the ace of spades, reversed like that. Now we're ready to display some more skill with our cards. These are the miscellaneous flourishes. The chapter titled Miscellaneous Flourishes opens with one of the most important flourishes you'll ever learn. It's the color change. The color change refers to the changing of one card to another. And the first technique is a very simple method for doing this. Begin by ensuring you have 2 cards that are reasonably different, one at the top and one at the bottom. Here I have a queen of spades here and a six of spades here. But to make it really change, we put the nine of diamonds on the face. And what happens is that as I come over, I'm going to steal the card from the back and add it to the face to make the change. To do this, this finger will push that card very slightly up as I come over. And the very crease of the second finger here is going to catch that card. So in a kind of pointing action, I'm going to lift up the card like this. So it's against my hand. If I like, I can point and then come back over and add the card to the face. Once again. Like this. I take the card forward, clear, it's in the palm, and I like to come straight back and add it to the face. Like that. So when I come over, I change the card instantly, like this. This requires a light touch. The nature of this means that you are going to cramp your hand slightly. Too much, and the tension will really show. So by just taking the card and adding it to the face, very gently, you can get a very nice little change. Looks very good from over here, where the deck is facing. Again, steal the card and place it here. Now I'm going to show you a slightly different way of doing this. Begin with two cards on the bottom, which are good for a change, and hold the deck face down. I'm now going to turn the deck face up. I'm going to turn it this way. I put my thumb underneath and turn it like this. But my hand will turn palm down to meet the deck. So as I turn it here, the hand turns palm down. At this point, the deck is like this, and my thumb is against the face card. So from here to here. My right hand now stays here, and the hand is going to come over to meet the right hand. As it does that, the hand covers that card completely. And this thumb pivots out this card ready for the palm. So from here to here, I'm ready for the palm. Remember, this hand is completely covering that card. As soon as it comes to here, I palm the card as I come around, and I show the face card as the seven of hearts, having that in palm. So again, at speed, I come to here, and I've palmed the card. I'm ready to begin. To make the change, I simply come over this card, and as soon as the card is added to the face, I open my fingers like this, and spread to show the card has changed to the Jack of Spades. So I come over, take the card, and change it to the Jack of Spades. You don't have to change it instantly. As soon as you have the card, you can wait for a moment, think, anything you like, and change that card to the Jack of Spades. This way is effective, but I think you'll find that this technique is much more convincing, like this. The changing card is a quick, visual, and stunning color change. To do it, have the selected card second from the top. Turn the deck face up and pull out the rearmost card, which is the previous top card of the deck. That's not their card. To make the change, it looks like this. I simply put it on the face. It's a very stunning change, and the secret is that after drawing this card out, the first finger pulls down on the selection, like this. As it pulls down here, I'm going to take out this card with these fingers gripping at these 2 points here, like this. As soon as I come to grip that, this card is pushed flush. Now it's not completely flush, but I immediately take it and place it on the face of the deck, which covers up any spreading of the two cards. So again, the selection is second from the top. I turn the pack over and I pull out what was previously the top card with my thumb, like this. This isn't their card. I pull down on this card and I immediately place both cards on the face. One last time, very slowly. I pull out that card. I pull down on the selection. I push the selection and I take both cards and place them on the face. And that is the changing card. The self-cutting deck is a flourish you should use sparingly. You don't want to look like too much of a wise guy. Ask someone to cut the deck. As they come forward to cut the deck, this is what happens. It cuts itself. And again, it cuts itself. Simply, I'm propelling the bottom portion towards my hand and catching it. This finger pushes and pushes straight back sharply, like this. So it finds about half the deck and pushes straight back sharply, like so. The greater distance, the more impressive the cut. I've seen someone who's able to do it at quite a distance, almost extending their arms to full length. But this is more than enough to be surprising. And that's the self-cutting deck. A pretty cut is a genuine way of cutting the deck with a fancy feel to it. Now I've changed the handling slightly. It recommends in the Royal Road that you grab the deck like this with the left hand and cut into the right hand, like this. This is unnecessary. If you begin with the deck in the left hand to begin with, you simply lift the deck with the right hand. From here, you do exactly the same cut. What happens is the finger, the first finger of your left hand, presses against the upper half of the deck from behind, here. It lifts up and cuts over like this, pivoting against the second finger of my right hand. Notice how the first finger is curled in here, pivoting into the palm. And then we slap on top. Again, a lift, pivot into the hand, and slap on top. So at speed, it looks like that. Like this. Like that. Now that's a single cut. You can do multiple cuts too. Simply take a smaller packet and repeat. Notice as you do this that I'm glimpsing the bottom card. So a triple cut is enough to find out what the bottom card of the deck is. So it's 1, 2, 3, and the 9 of spades is on the bottom, which is useful. And that's a pretty cut. The pop-up card is a way of producing a card. Let's imagine you had a card selected and controlled to the top of the deck, the 10 of clubs. Turn the deck face up, and while waving your hand over the deck, the 10 of clubs comes out like this. To do this, I'm simply taking with my first finger of my left hand, I'm pulling down on the top card, here, closest to the palm. I push back like this, and I keep pushing like this until the card reaches the very end and pivots against the base of my thumb. So in other words, you just keep pushing, and eventually it'll pop up like this. Like that. One more time. Like that. If you like, wrap some pretend invisible thread and pull, and the card will come out like that. That's the pop-up card. The Charlier cut is a very popular flourish that has several applications in magic itself. Simply hold the deck like so. It's at fingertips, not right at the very tips of the fingers. You notice how my fingertips extend above the top slightly. My left little finger moves to the outside like this to support that corner. The first finger goes under the deck, like that. And what happens is the thumb can now be released from the deck completely, almost as if it were balancing there, which is exactly what it's doing. The thumb will now support half the deck, lifting it from the lower half. That lower half will now start to move downwards like this. As soon as I push up, the lower half will hinge downwards. I allow it to fall by lowering my first finger until it reaches the palm. And then I press up towards my thumb like this. As soon as I reach the thumb, I press up. The thumb will now release that packet and it will fall like this onto the first finger. The first finger will now slide underneath it but move downwards to give enough room for that top packet. And my fingers here will close this packet in underneath, and I raise everything back up, ready to begin again. So I lift up, lower, press up towards the thumb, let that fall, pull it in with my fingers, and then press up again with the finger so we're ready to begin again. So I can actually constantly cut the deck with one hand. Like so. This is another example where you may want to ask somebody to cut the deck and do it for them. That's the Charlier cut. The acrobatic aces is a fine use of the Charlier cut. Take two red aces and openly place these on the top and the bottom of the deck. And if you like, bend the deck this way. Or spring the cards into the hand, which will have the same effect. Now riffle the cards, but only riffle the upper half, which will bend the upper half the opposite way. Like this. You'll see how we use that in a moment. Now to begin, take the bottom ace. And you show that as you begin a Charlier cut around about the middle of the deck. So you show this. And you then place it on this half, which is about to become the middle of the deck. Now that's actually going on top of the first ace. This is what gets by people. This goes here. You now take the next red ace, but you don't show it. And you do another Charlier cut. At this point, they'll be watching that as you place that into the middle as well. Now what's just happened is the red aces have returned to the top and the bottom. How does that work? Well, remember at the beginning, we sprung the cards. Then we riffled the top half like this. This bends the top and bottom halves different ways. So when I take this card, the ace of diamonds, and begin a Charlier cut, placing it into the middle, actually on top of its opposite number, and then I take the next red ace, which I don't show. When I do this Charlier cut, you'll notice that there's actually a point in the deck where the two halves meet. That's because we bent the two halves opposite ways, like this. So when I do the Charlier cut, it's very easy to break the deck at that point, like this. So as I show this card to myself and name it, I do the Charlier cut. This is where everyone will be looking. I place that into the center and complete. Shake the deck, and this ace is back on the bottom, and this ace is back on the top. And that's acrobatic aces. The following techniques allow you to secretly reverse cards for use as revelations or as key cards. The first reverse requires you to be standing. To reverse the card against your leg, the hand must fall naturally at your side as you talk. So you don't do this kind of thing. Just let it fall naturally to your side. The top card is going to be reversed against the leg by pressing this edge, the right long edge, against my leg. As I do that, I move downwards, like so, reversing the card. Again, as I come to here, I push off, and I immediately reverse the card and relax. And I'm prepared. The second method for reversing a card requires you to palm the top card of the deck, like so. Once the card is palmed, bring your hand around the side of the deck like this. As you do that, the card comes to here. The left fingers will now do all of the work. From here, the left fingers go underneath the card and pull it around to the bottom of the deck. So from above, very little could be seen. It's helpful if you use the right fingers to lift up the deck slightly as that card is pulled underneath. So again, from here to here, I lift up the deck very slightly and the card slides underneath, like so. Another way of doing this is to spread the deck as you do so. As you spread the deck, the card easily slides underneath to the bottom. This reverse should be performed on the offbeat as you're talking, like so. The third reverse is very similar to one of the double lift reverses. It works like this. You need to get a break underneath the top card, which you're going to reverse. This is the Jack of Diamonds. You can, if you like, just lift it and get a break this way with the pinky. Or push off slightly to the right with that card, squeeze with the pinky, and you end up with a break underneath the top card, like this. This is easy to do while you're talking. Now lift up the deck. You're not going to lift it all the way up. You're just going to take control of the deck. As you take the deck, the thumb holds that break. The thumb goes underneath. Now you can take the card this way, turn it over and put it on top. But a much nicer way is to take it like this and flip it around the edge of the deck, on top of the deck like that. And then lift up both cards. Okay? So again, I go underneath, flip on top, I lift up both cards, like so. Thumb goes underneath the deck and flips it face up. These cards now go on top, and that card has been reversed. Again, a break. Card on top. Lift up both the cards, flip everything over, drop it on top, and your card has been reversed in the center. The fourth method for reversing a card is excellent. It works like this. The card you wish to reverse is on top of the deck. You get a break beneath it, as before. You take over the break as you lift half of the deck from the left hand. Your thumb goes underneath, turns that half over, and places it on top of the deck. And the right hand now lifts up all of these cards, including the previous top card of the deck. The left thumb now goes underneath and flips over this half. And the halves are returned like this, leaving that card reversed in the middle. Now you can do this with any number of cards. You could take 4 cards like this, have a break beneath them, place that packet on top, flip over that packet, and your 4 cards are reversed. This is a very powerful reverse. So one more time. Take over the break, lift off the top half, flip over the bottom half and feed it on top, like so. And with the right hand, lift up everything above the break. Thumb goes underneath, flips over. You can ask, is this your card or this one? They'll say no. Drop these on top. And the reverse is complete. The reverse location is a very subtle way of finding a card, but it's also very bold. Begin by secretly reversing a card on the bottom of the deck. It doesn't matter what it is. Have a card selected. When the card is returned, let's imagine it was simply the 8 of diamonds, key undercut and put your reverse card on top. You can also do the undercut shuffle, shuffling off a block so you don't disturb those 2 cards at any time. Now you begin shuffling like this. Take a group of cards here, put some on top and some underneath. You just keep taking packets like this, but you're looking to see the reverse card. As soon as you see the reverse card, act like this is a mistake and throw it out. The cards that were previously on the bottom are going to be placed on top. Now, of course, this was on top of the selection. So at this point, you've just controlled the selection to the top, apparently while correcting a mistake in the deck. So in other words, it's a planned accident. Have the card returned, little shuffle, make sure you keep those 2 cards together. Start mixing the cards like this. Oh, sorry about that. And then continue, and the selection is on top. You know, I'm very fortunate that I get to perform all over the world, and I actually live in Scotland, and recently I was performing in England, in a place called Swindon. In Swindon, it's a very nice place. People are usually pretty nice. And unfortunately, I found a place where they like to drink a little bit, a little bar. And I was there performing a few card tricks, and I did a trick where someone chose a card. You can be the person who chose the card. Okay. Okay. Look at the card. Show it to everybody, and put it back there. Okay. Now, choosing the card was the easy part. It was afterwards someone asked if they could shuffle the deck. Now, most people will shuffle like this, okay, which is fine. That's okay. Unfortunately, this person took the cards. He'd had a few too many to drink, and to be honest, so had I. And what they did was this. Instead of shuffling the cards this way or riffling the cards together, they did this. Mixing the cards face up and face down, like that. Needless to say, this made things a little bit more difficult. Some cards are face up, and some cards are face down. Some cards are even back to back. Now, like this, it's very difficult to find a card. So, it was late, and decided to take my chances. Use just a little bit of the good stuff. Say the name of your card.
Ace of diamonds.
Ace of diamonds. And the whole deck turns face down, apart from your card, the ace of diamonds.
That was wonderful.
A tipsy trick is a classic of card magic. Have a card selected and control it to the bottom of the deck using any control you like. Let's imagine that we just shuffle it to the top and then shuffle it straight to the bottom. So our selection is on the bottom of the deck. Tell the story about meeting someone in a bar and they wanted to shuffle the cards. To shuffle the cards, take a group of cards into the right hand like so. Thumb them off with the left. Take the packet. Turn your hand palm down. Your right hand goes palm down and slaps on top of the deck. As it comes down on top of the deck, the thumb pushes off more cards. So now we have face up and face down together. Take all of these, turn over, and slap down and push off some more cards, like so. Repeat this continually, taking cards underneath as you revolve the right hand. Keep going until there's only one card left in the left hand. This card is casually slipped to the top, like so. If you do this properly, the deck is in this condition. The top half is face up, the bottom half is face down, and the selection is face down on top. One more time at speed. Like so. Now to continue, you need to find the natural break between the two packets. If there's any kind of bevel in your deck, this will be easy to find, like so. If not, simply riffle up the end and stop when you see the two halves meeting like so. At this point, you want to take a break here. Now cut above the break to show a face-up card. Say, some cards are face up. Put these on top. Pick everything up above the break. Some cards are face down. And now revolve everything over and say some cards are back to back. At this point, I take these cards and replace them like this. In other words, the whole packet is turned over and slapped on top. Now, if you were to spread the deck, every single card is face down, except for their selection, like so. Now there's another way to do this too. With this card on the bottom, you do the shuffle, this way, like that, nice and messy. Table the deck, lift up about a quarter of the deck, some cards are face up, and now you lift up at the break, so you must be sure to get that break, like so. Some cards are even back to back, and as I do that, I take this packet and I slap it on top. Square everything up, and the trick is complete. Terry, I want you to cut off any number of cards that you like. Okay. And what you can do here is to take any card you like from your spread. So just run through, take any card you like. I'll take one as well. This one will be my one. Okay. Now watch. What I want to do is take this card and cut it like this into your packet. But don't let me see where you cut it, so I don't know. Okay, done that? Complete the cut. Complete the cut, that's it. Okay. That's my card. Now we'll do the same thing with your card. Just push your card anywhere into the packet that you like.
Into that?
Yeah. Did you show it to everyone else?
No.
Okay. Okay. Now push it in anywhere that you like. Somewhere around about the middle is good. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Is that fair? Yes? Okay. Now look what happens. I'm going to put the two packets together like this. I'm going to go underneath the table for just a second. I did it. Okay. Now remember, you cut my card into your packet, so I can't know where it was. And you put your card into mine. My card was the King of Clubs. What's yours?
7 of hearts.
7 of Hearts. I spread the cards like this. You see there's 2 cards reversed. The King of Clubs and the 7 of Hearts. Like that. Wow. Double reverse is a superb card trick. To begin, take a deck and secretly reverse the bottom card. You need to know what that card is. In this case, it's the Ace of Spades. Keep that card in position as you shuffle. Make sure it doesn't flash. Cut off about half of the cards and hand them to someone else. You're going to ask them to remove a card, but to do this, you display yourself what you want to do. You say, look, I'm going to take a card out and look at it. Now, you're the only one who sees this card. It's important. No one else sees this card but you. And place it down and say, take out any card. As soon as they go to do this and all attention is here, you're going to place down the deck, reversing it like so. So now this packet is face up with the reverse card on top. Now remember, you know what that card is. Any card can be removed from this deck, like so. Now I don't need to remember my card because I won't be using it again. But I take it and I insert it into their packet, like so, face downwards. And I ask them to do the same here. When they insert their card, however, it's being inserted into a face-up packet, like so. It's important to make sure these stay square. So they're pushed in like this. Now, take these and put them on top and hold a break underneath. Now here you can either go behind your back or under the table. It's important that you do so quickly. Say, okay, my card is in your packet, your card is in my packet. But if I put them both together and go underneath the table for just a second, look what happens. As soon as I go underneath the table and the cards are out of sight, I simply take everything above the break, I flip it face up, and I bring the deck out like this. So, quickly, this goes here. I go underneath, I flip that over, and I come up, and I place the deck on the table. What was your card? They'll name their card. I named the card that I saw earlier, which of course was the Ace of Spades, which I reversed on the bottom of the deck. As soon as both cards are named, spread the cards and show their card and your card reversed in the face down deck. Let's try a little mind reading thing. And Margaret, think of a number between 1 and 10. You have it? Don't tell me what it is.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show you the cards one at a time, and I want you to simply think of the card at your number.
Okay.
So don't forget your number either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you get it? Okay. Erin, think of a number between 10 and 20.
Okay.
You got it? Okay, so you've got a number and you've got a number. And you remember your card?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I won't look at any of the cards. I'm just going to put them underneath the table. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm ready. Now your card was which number was it from the top?
6.
6. Okay. Let's check out the 6th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that your card?
No,
So it's not there anymore. That's good. What was your card?
it was the 3 of diamonds.
The 3 of diamonds. Okay, so that's clearly not that card. 6. What was the number you thought of?
16.
16? Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10. Tell you what, I'm going to make this really clear. Okay, I'll do it over here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay? Your card was a 3 of diamonds? It was in the 6th position?
Mm-hmm.
And you thought of the number 16?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly where we find the 3 of diamonds. The trick called mentalivity is one of the first tricks that I ever learned. To do this, have someone think of a small number, one between 1 and 10. When they've done that, begin showing them cards from a shuffled deck, one at a time, counting the cards out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Asking them to remember the card at their number. In this case, it'll be number 6, like so. So notice our blue-backed ace of spades at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've displayed 10 cards. I place these back on top and say, okay, I know you're thinking of a card somewhere near the top of the deck, but only you know where. Ask someone else to think of a number between 10 and 20. So the first person is between 1 and 10. The second person is between 10 and 20. Now look at both of them. Pretend like you're reading their minds. Pick up the deck and place it either under the table or behind your back. Behind your back, take 12 cards from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Flip these face up and place them underneath the deck like so. Now remember, we didn't reverse their order. We just kept them in the same order, so the 6th card is still in position. But it's on the bottom of the deck. Bring the deck back up, like so. So the portion you reverse is still on the bottom. And say, okay, I think this worked. Tell me, what was the first number that you thought of? 6. Okay. Well, let's look at the 6th card now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that your card? Of course it is not. Now turn and ask for the second number. Let's imagine the second number is 16. At the moment, I've just dealt 6 cards from the top of the deck. I now know that 6 cards from this side is their card. The second number given to me was 16. In order to be able to deal from this side and find the card at the 16th number, I have to continue dealing until I hit the number 10. In other words, you take the first number away from the second number. And you deal that number of cards, after which you must reverse the deck. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. What was the number? And now I turn and I ask the number. At that moment, I'm going to place the deck on the table like this. 16. Okay, 10. Now I take the cards very fairly. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now that's the number that you chose. Now I couldn't have known your number and I couldn't have known your number. But believe it or not, I managed to move your card to her number, like that. And that's called mentalivity. Okay. I'll shuffle these up a little bit. I need you to cut off a small packet of cards, okay?
Alright.
Just a small number. All right. And
Almost.
anything you
There
like.
we
Yep. Take those and count them secretly so that I
Okay.
can't tell what you've got there.
Okay.
Maybe do it quietly if you like. Do you know how many you've got?
Yes.
Okay. Keep a hold of those. Put them under your knee if you
Okay.
like. Okay. Now take the rest of the deck and take the cards one at a time, like this. And remember the card at your number, but go past it so that I can't tell exactly how many you have. Okay.
All right.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, drop those cards on top. Okay. Take the cards that you have and drop them on top as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And I'll shuffle everything up a little bit. I'm going to show you the cards.
Okay.
I'm going to try and tell whether or not you've seen your card as I do that. Okay? You ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, there's not much choice there. Odds are in my favor. Let's try again. I still don't think you've seen your cards, so take a few more cards that time. Nope.
No.
Nope, still haven't seen it. Nope. Okay.
No.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope. What was your card?
Queen of Diamonds.
Really? Yeah, that's it. Montebank Miracle is a wonderful little principle that you can use for many types of location. It allows you to have someone select a card in a very fair-seeming way, but know the exact location of that card. This is how it works. Have someone cut off a small packet of cards and count that number of cards under the table or somewhere where you can't see it. So they've apparently arrived at a completely random number, which of course they have. Let's imagine they happen to cut off 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Jeff, you would take the 8 cards and you would count those. You already know there's 8 cards, so that's good. Place the cards where I can't see them, maybe under your lap or somewhere like that. That's good. Now, those cards are now in his possession. He knows the number, and he's the only one who knows that number. I'm now going to ask him to take the deck. Of course, the deck can be thoroughly shuffled before we begin. He can take the deck and begin taking cards one at a time. As he does so, he's going to take them, look at it, lay it in a pile. And keep doing this, counting silently, remembering the card at his number. But so I don't know which card it is, he's to continue past that card and make a small pile so that I can't tell which card was his. So Jeff, why don't you start doing that slowly? Keep taking the cards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lo and behold, it's our blue-backed Ace of Spades. That's his card. And he continues, but I have to count how many he deals. 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 cards. So he's dealt 12 cards, which I've counted silently. Take those cards and put them on top of the deck. Okay? Now, this is how this works. The total of cards he dealt was 12. The card you looked at was the 8th card. And you reversed the cards as you dealt them, and then replaced them on top. I know only this. If you take the cards you originally cut off, the cards which dictated which card was your selection, and drop those on top of the deck, your card is now the 13th card from the top. How do I know that? Well, he dealt 12 cards into a pile. I simply add 1 to that number, and after he's returned the original cut-off packet, his card will be the 13th card from the top. If he dealt 14 cards, it would now be the 15th card from the top. So, what do I do with that? Well, that's the basic principle behind the Montebank Miracle. How you go on from here is up to you. If you read The Royal Road to Card Magic, you'll find a nice way of producing the card. I'm going to show you another way that uses the palm. The nice thing about this is it uses the palm at the right time. And I've fooled many people with this. Take the deck and hold it in one hand. Now, I know the card is 13 from the top. I'm going to deal maybe 4 or 5 cards, but I count. That's 5. I now take the deck like this and I say You haven't seen your card yet. No. And I deal again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've just dealt 9 cards in total. Still haven't seen. Notice how I take the deck again for just a second as I rest back. 10, 11, 12. That's the 13th card. You still haven't seen your card. At this point, when I come back, I palm the top card in my hand. And I come back like this, resting my hand on the table. The table edge will support the palmed card, like this. And I continue. You still haven't seen your card. Now I don't bring my hand anywhere near the deck at all. And I keep going. You still haven't seen your card. And I continue through the whole deck, getting faster and faster. And the tension will build as they begin to realize that their card is not going to show up at all until after I've dealt the whole deck, like this. And now open up my jacket. That palmed card is then produced from my pocket. And they have no idea when I could possibly have obtained it. And that's my version of the Montebank miracle.